We care about it because it's there. There's a myth. It's an anniversary. All these banal things. Why should we care about it in substance? Because much of the myth is true. 1215 really is the beginning of a very particular English politics, and I'm daring to use the word England, which has actually survived 800 years. The lineaments of England and the English political system are first sketched out in 1215, or rather, they're first sketched out in that crucial decade-long, we could call it the crisis of the charters, like Conrad Russell's crisis of parliaments, from 1215 to 1225. But everything really begins then. And you can see so much. You can see the whole dialogue of Whig and Tory. The Charter begins on the extreme left. It survives only because you have Tories clever enough to realise that they've got to steal the Whigs' clothes. You can see models of particular statesmanship, which again constantly repeat themselves. You can see, of course, this crisis of charters leading directly to the establishment of Parliament. The whole structure of parliamentary government really begins with the reissue of the Charter in 1225 in return for a grant of taxation. So it matters and it matters and it matters. And coincidentally, of course, this year is also the 750th of the first model parliament, the Simon de Montfort Parliament of 1265, which is the first parliament in which you can see a recognisable House of Lords alongside a recognisable House of Commons with elected representatives from the towns, the cities and the shires, which itself built directly on Magna Carta. So it really is there. I would like them to think about Magna Carta not as some kind of sainted origins of the English Constitution, but a product of crisis, of revolution narrowly averted, and of the thing that we've all become so contemptuous of, which is the political process, which is compromise, which is wheeler dealing, which is not getting quite everything that you want, which is about recognizing that your opponents may have a point. Now, we've become very contemptuous of all of those things. It is very dangerous to be contemptuous of those things, because that's the root of a Robespierre or of a Lenin. English history is a very different lesson. It's a lesson of this perpetual compromise, perpetual accommodation. It's, I suppose what I'm saying really is that the presiding spirit, and it's a prime minister who is now treated with absolute contempt because of appeasement, Stanley Baldwin, is a most remarkable prime minister, the longest serving Tory prime minister, if I remember correctly, if you put all his periods of office together, of the 20th century. He saw it as his principal mission to make the Labour Party safe for English politics. And similarly, the reason Magna Carta survives is not those great baronial leaders, the ones we all know about, Robert Fitzwalton, Serre de Quincey, sworn blood brothers, fighting against John. It's not them who preserve Magna Carta. It's the Tory. It's William Marshall. It's the die-hard loyalist to John and to Henry III. It's his reissue of the Charter with all the awkward bits cut out, which is the reason that it survives, the reason we're commemorating it, and the reason it matters.